what's up? It's Joe Raiti from Raiti's Rides. I am here in the Lone Star State of Texas, and guess what? We have a little bit of a changed up family hauler from that iconic Japanese brand. Is this vehicle right here. This is a 2025 updated Toyota Sienna. This particular one is the platinum trim. But before we get into this maximum family hauler of a minivan, let's talk about what's going on here. So we're here in Plano, Texas. It is the home of Toyota USA. This is where they have their North American headquarters. And we are here to kind of dive a little deeper into some of their different vehicles. One of the vehicles that's getting some changes for 2025 is that Sienna. Now, the Sienna has been around since 1998. And in the minivan grand scheme of things, that really hasn't been super long. The OGs, of course, are going to be the Dodge Caravan and the Chrysler and Plymouth products. Well, Plymouth doesn't exist anymore, and Chrysler is holding on by a thin thread of existence. So that is where Toyota decided to bring a little bit more for 2025 and their Sienna minivan. Now, what's interesting is that you're still going to see a lot of the familiar style that they brought during the redesign just a few years ago, but wait until we get to the interior is where you're going to see some of those bigger changes. But what I want to find out is, does the Sienna do it better when it comes to the minivan experience for the money compared to the Kia Carnival or the Honda Odyssey? Let's go ahead, let's dive into ours and find out. Right off the bat, when it comes to style, they really brought some unique exterior experiences to the outside. Now, when it comes to platinum, platinum is going to be your top trim. So what do we got going on? First of all, you're going to notice this aluminum style trim that goes across the brow. Of course, we're going to have projector beam LED headlights with the daytime running lamp. And I love the way they really kind of made the headlight housing look a little bit more sportier for a minivan. And we have LED turn signals. Working our way down in the lower corners, you have a little bit of silver trim, and we do have our LED fog lamps with a little bit of an aerodynamic splitter at the front. Now, it isn't about creating downforce. This vehicle is a hybrid powered vehicle. All Siennas are hybrid, and remember, it has all-wheel drive as standard. Honda Odyssey, no all-wheel drive, no hybrid. And for the first time with the Kia Carnival, they're finally bringing for 2025 hybrid technology. Now, when you look at the rest of the finish, the gunmetal metallic gray, looking good on this platinum trim. And then as we come across the front grille area, this is where things get interesting. They actually did the styling to mimic a bullet train from Japan, one of those Japanese bullet trains. And I think they really pulled it off nicely. Now, you do have a bit of gloss black up top, but what that does is it houses that hybrid badge, that Toyota badge with the blue. Love the way the silver comes to a point. Like I said, it's trying to give it a little bit more kind of sportier style to a minivan. Now, working our way down, you're gonna have functionality through our center grille, forward-facing camera. I like on the platinum trim how it's all body color. And then working our way down to the bottom level, you do have some flat black, and this is functional. So even though a lot of times you'll see this as not being functional, this lower part is functional, and you'll see how for aerodynamic efficiency, that lower lip drops down, because like I said, it's about getting maximum range from the front of this minivan. Now, as we rise up, one of the things that makes the Sienna look a little bit soft is going to be the hood area. There's not a lot of overhang, and it slopes down very sharply. This is more of that traditional style that you see on a minivan. If you look at the Carnival has a little bit more of an SUV shape to it. Now, as we come around the bend, what are we working with? Wheel and tire setup. So what you're going to find is you're going to get all new wheels for 2025. The flat black, the new metal touches that they've done, nice little extra garnish and trim. Not only does it look good, but it helps with kind of bringing the airflow down the side of the vehicle. And even though this is meant to look like metal, these are plastic inserts. But like I said, the nice kind of metal finish that they put on them gives it a pop of color And it's nice to see a black wheel on a platinum trim. Normally you don't see that. This wheel is, when you're looking at it, 18 inches in diameter. Tires are going to be 235 on the width, 60 series sidewall, and I'm glad that they don't put any cladding around the fender openings whatsoever. Super clean. Now as we come down the side, you are going to get color matched on the mirror caps. We do have our 360-degree cameras, a little bit of silver trim. One of the things that I think is so smart is how the silver trim on the window frames is only on the top. You have your raised roof rails, but they're not the full length of the roof. I think that helps with drag, and it also helps it with the style. And I like the way that the roof rails are raised because you get the Toyota accessory crossbars, and then they have a plethora of kayak holders, bicycle holders, cargo baskets, all that stuff you could put up top. We do have some, because this is the platinum trim, some shiny chrome style. Obviously it's not real metal, this is plastic, but it's meant to look like chrome on the door handles. You have your power sliding door, so we're just gonna hit the button, and you have that nice power sliding door experience on both sides. Lots of easy access in and out. I'm not ready to show you the interior yet. Let me push the button here. It's getting a little confused by my touches. I gotta be a little softer. Love the way they do a little bit of a side skirt extension. Like I said, it's all about the airflow. You see this little symbol here? You have your key fob in your pocket. You actually swipe your foot underneath that sensor and the side door will open up, especially if you have the kids in your hands, or maybe your bowling ball, you're going bowling with your buddies and you got your balls in your hands. That will help you open it up by swiping your foot. One of the things that I like about the Sienna, styling wise over the other two, is right here. I love the way they do this indentation into the rear. I know this is gonna sound crazy. It sort of reminds me of the style of the Super, the way it flares out in the back. Obviously not as flared, but just has that unique Toyota style. Even the way that they hid the track for the power sliding door with that shiny bright metalwork, and then as we swing it around back, it's almost perfect. The one thing I would like to see is, of course, we're gonna zonk the rear wiper. I would like to see that tucked underneath, but you got a pretty decent roof spoiler, all body color, and then they did a great job on the taillights. The one thing that they really should not have done is this right here. Why is there an old-fashioned light bulb in there? That should be full LED on a platinum trim. So that's a zonk, but I do like that style. And you see how, look at the back of a Supra. The back of a Supra has that same kind of flow to the rear of the vehicle. And then as we come towards the center of the Sienna, you have your hybrid badge, the Sienna name. That's all that shiny chrome finish on the badging. HEV, what does that mean? That is that hybrid electric vehicle. So with the all-wheel drive, and then on this side, we got our platinum trim. And then I like the way no exposed exhaust. I don't need it. Just some gloss black and some silver trim to match the style up front. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and talk MPGs of this hybrid powered Sienna. All right guys, we got the hood popped. You do have a prop rod. I don't think many people are gonna open up their hood at a local cars and coffee event of their Sienna, so I'm not gonna zonk it, but I'm definitely not zonking what's underneath the hood. It's a 2.5 liter inline 4 paired to 3 motors. Combined 245 horsepower. It uses a direct drive transmission, 0 to 60 in 7.5 seconds. Top speed is governed to 117 miles an hour, but here's where you're the real winner. MPGs, 35 in the city, 36 on the highway. The vehicle weighs 4,811 pounds. When you compare this to the Odyssey, for example, you're gonna blow it away when it comes to MPGs. And remember, the way that the all-wheel drive system works in this is that you have an electric motor out back powering the rear wheel, so there's no actual drive shaft, which that's the same type of system that you would find on a RAV4 hybrid, or of course the RAV4 Prime. But why don't we go ahead, let's turn this thing on, fire it up, and see it roll. All right, guys, we're inside this 2025 Toyota Sienna. This, like I said, being the top trim. Don't worry, we will bring other trims to you as well. Now, I know you're probably saying to yourself, well, Joe, I got a lot to haul. I've made some decisions in my life where I have a lot of kids. There's a lot of people that I got to drive around. How much is this, though? Am I going to have to break the bank? Very good question. MSRP for a base LE is around $40,600. This being the top platinum trim, you're looking at a price around $57,000. But remember, that's standard hybrid, standard all-wheel drive. On a Kia Carnival, you have to pay more to get hybrid and more to get the all-wheel drive. So just something to think about. But let's see what you get for the money for 2025 to the door panels. I do love the two-tone. So you have that beige off-white soft touch material. It's easy to keep clean. So if your kids are eating chocolate fudge donuts and stuff and they get their fingerprints on them, you could clean the fingerprints off very easily. Look at the way they put some nice contrast stitching into the armrest, soft armrest. I have to zonk the gloss black around the switchgear because that's going to get fingerprints all over it. But you know what? You could get some Cane's fried chicken in that center pocket there. Easily 6 drumsticks, no problem. Down below, the door pocket is a little tight. So maybe just 2 bottles of root beer and, of course, a regular Whataburger from that iconic fast food restaurant. Now, going from the door panel to the dash, here's where things really pick up steam. Love the soft material on the dash, the contrast stitching, the two-tone, more of that stitching. We have our Sienna Texas Twinkie tray here. Put a baker's dozen of Twinkies. Very easily done. And then slide on in. I don't want you to beat it because guess what? I want to show you the new 12.3-inch infotainment system. This is all new for 2025. It's got the familiar Toyota multimedia software. So what does that mean? That means you can set up your different driver profiles, all those different goodies. You could go and access your climate controls very easily from the screen if you want to. And then you can set up how you want to have it all organized for the front seats and the back seats. And then, of course, we have our Sirius XM. Got to have 80s on 8. Let me throw it in a reverse here. Super clear on the resolution. They upgraded the resolution on the cameras. You got trajectory, you got your 360, so they have you covered there. And I like the way it takes up a lot of the 12.3 inches. Even the way they did the little touches on the side. It's nice just to have those little touches. Then you got the silver trim that runs into your toggle switches. So we have our dual climate control, easy to use, front, rear. You could sync it all together. We have real buttons for our 3 stages of ventilated seats, 3 stages of heated seats, wireless charging, and then you have one standard size cup holder, another one that's a little bit larger. This is going to control that direct drive transmission. I'm going to move it out of the way because they have a USB-A hidden here. You got your power on button because this is a hybrid. Drive mode selector switch, which I'll show you when you come over to the business side of things. Your EV mode, Sienna key fob with the blue. And I like the way you just hold the buttons to open up the doors. Down below, you do have a 12 volt, which is nice. And you got a place for your cowboy boots, maybe some spurs, maybe even some lassoing rope. I know a lot of times we were just walking around this little area here and we saw about 25 cowboys, all with those items. So that's where you could store them down here. New wood style trim, not my favorite, I'll be honest. It feels a little fuddy-duddy because it's shiny. I wish it was real open pore wood, but you open this up, you got 2 more cup holders, but they're small. So if you want your Yeti can, you're not gonna be putting your Yeti can anywhere around here. Soft touch material, and then check this out. Boom, what do we have in here? 2 USB-Cs, and actually what they did was they wrapped up special for us some going away gifts that you don't damage the material and everything with the bubble wrap. But there's easily 1, 2, 3, 4 special going away packages that Toyota gave to us that's sitting in this center console. So it's nice that they have that. You know, I'm the type of person that easily you could put, I would say, 2 NES Power Gloves in there. 1 for each hand. I never even thought about that as a kid, having 2. Seats, the two-tone, the perforations, the stitching, full electric assist for the passenger, full electric assist for the driver. We have a standard size sunroof, which before you get sad, you'll see why there's not a panoramic sunroof when we get to the back seat area. It's all gonna make sense. And then of course we have a digital rear view mirror, clear as day. But why don't you come over here to the business side? I want to show you, I really love how high this center console is. I want to show you where you're going to be sitting, driving your 15 kids around in the Sienna. All right, guys, business time behind the wheel. You do have 2 memory seat settings, and don't forget, all of the materials you're seeing on the interior have been changed for 2025. The colors, the textures, the stitching, the fonts, everything. Down below, you do have your seat controls, all within fingertip reach, and these seats are built to go the distance. I mean, if you're gonna be hauling your 15 kids around and they're all screaming and yelling, you wanna have a seat that's nice and comfortable so that you can, at least your body won't be aching. Maybe your head will be aching, your brain, but not your body. Steering wheel, love the new material. Nice smooth leather up top. You got the perforate on the side. Look at the way they're doing the stitching. So smart. Don't like the horn button. Very bumper car-esque. It should be leather on the Platinum trim, and it should have some stitching on here. So I am gonna zonk that. But you do have all flat black on your switchgear. We have a power tilting, telescoping steering wheel. Look over here, we have our heated steering wheel. You got your 360 view. And then this little tray right here is for a big bag. You thought I was gonna say chew or dip. No, that's where you're gonna put your bag of grape flavored Big League Chew. It was hard to find back in the day, but at certain 7-Elevens, you could get that grape flavored Big League Chew. Put a big wad down in there and just spit. Anyways, the steering wheel, like I said, looking great. The dash, 12.3 inches. You want to see something that's like a video game? Watch this. Different modes, sport, normal, and eco. Love the colors, love the fonts, all the different information. And there's a head-up display. Plus, you have a 12-speaker JBL sound system in here. And that wireless charger that I showed you is actually more powerful for 2025 to charge your phone faster. Crazy. Let's get into the mid-row, though, and see if you're going to be chilling like a villain in this Sienna. All right, guys, mid-row time. I love the power sliding doors on these. Easy to get in and out. I'm 6 feet tall and I have the seat all the way forward, and I still have plenty of room in here. You got a nice grab handle for the taller people or for the shorter people, for the people with big hands or the people in your lives with small hands. Now, you want to talk about big. This is something that your Dodge Caravan is not going to do. First of all, these seats recline like a freaking champion. Love that. But get ready for this one. Are you ready? Because I'm freaking ready. So what you're gonna do is slide. Look at this. Almost 6 feet. I'm back here. And I feel fantastic. And here's the even better part. We're not even done yet. My legs, they need to be supported. They're hurting right now. If you have somebody say that to you, come on. Literally just chilling back here. You do have a captain's chair, which I'll show you that armrest in a second. Captain's chair armrest is a zonk. That's a huge zonk because it's too small. The only brand that makes good armrests is freaking Ford. I feel like everybody needs to take a page from them. But easy to operate, the ottoman, slide the seat, and then of course, when it comes to your center console, love the command center. They updated the materials, like I said, with that wood style finish. You got a nice little tray area here where you can put some M&Ms so they don't melt in your hands or your mouth. But watch this, you ready? 2025, baby. Cooler. 6 bottles of your favorite beverage. Obviously non-alcoholic, please. Yoo-hoo, Sprite, Tang, whatever you want to drink. You can have those containers here. You have your, of course, your HDMI. What is that for? I'll show you in a second. You have your vacuum button. Whoa! It really does suck. 2 USB-Cs. That's for the cooler. And then down below, check this out. You have this little area. This is where you're going to slide out the tray to dump all the dirt that you vacuum up. You do have a home power source, and this is where you insert the vacuum. Now, you might be saying to yourself, well, Joe, where's the vacuum? We have it. Vacuum, hose, and tools. And it comes in a nice Toyota bag. So we're going to open this up, show you what we have. Look at this. Now, I don't know about you, but I was raised in a family where you had to clean up after yourself. You had to earn everything that you have. Nothing is given to you. So what I want to see is if your kids bring the dirt in, they need to clean up after themselves. So look at the suck action on this thing. It can suck the chrome off a bumper, but really nice to have this because we all know kids are going to make a mess, and instead of you cleaning it up, have them clean it up. And then they can even dump the cartridge into the trash can. Let's create responsible adults out of these kids, please. I remember as a teacher, my students used to be like, why do we have to clean up? There's janitors. Listen, you got to take care of the mess that you make. Now, the nice thing is, one thing that we didn't have back then, first of all, we didn't have vacuum cleaners built into the car, had to go get one from the garage. We also have our rear seat entertainment. Nice flip down screen. Obviously be able to plug in and watch whatever you want. You have your AC controls up top, 3 stages of heated seats, and dual climate control for this mid-row. But nice to have an actual built-in vacuum, easy to use, it's not complicated, and you'll be able to clean up both the mid-row and the third row. Speaking of third row, let's get back there because I want to show you how nice it is in a minivan. All right, guys, you're not going to do this in your full-size SUV. I don't care what vehicle you drive. So much entrance room to come in and out. You do have a bottle holder on the inside of the sliding door right there. And then getting into the third row, it's a pleasure. A lot of times I don't want to sit in these freaking third rows, but this feels really, really fantastic. You do have USB-Cs and the audio controls for the sound system and the entertainment system to plug in your headset. Love that they have security shades. How many brands do not do this? Security shades even for the quarter windows. So that's nice. AC vents, the JBL sound system, 2 cup holders. I just wish they would give this material, make it a little bit softer. It's just hard plastic. And I'm just saying specifically for the platinum trim. Maybe on a LE, don't worry about it. But platinum trim, that needs to be some soft material. But as you can see, the amount of space you have in here is ridiculous. I also am able to show you the nice little area. Watch this. What is that cargo net for? Is it for your Ginsu knife? No, it's not. You could actually take your phone and have it in there. How many times do your kids lose their phone in the car, and then you got to rip the whole thing apart? They're not going to do it anymore. And if they do, after showing them that, you take away their phone. Or you say, we're never going to find it ever again. But why don't we go ahead, let's find out how much cargo space there is in a Sienna minivan. All right, guys, cargo area time. This is where the Sienna tries to flex its muscle. You have, of course, the electric assist on the lift back. What you're going to be greeted to is 36 cubic feet of space with that third row up. You'll notice just how low the cargo floor is. I mean, you could easily get, I would say, 15 to 20 12 packs of Yoo-Hoo back here. Now, I normally don't like Yoo-Hoo in a can. I'm more of a glass bottle kind of guy, but you could get those 12 packs of Yoo-Hoo in there, no problem. You could go over to the Texas Ponderosa, get yourself the big old 96er. That's a 96-ounce steak. Watch the movie Great Outdoors. And if you've seen the movie Great Outdoors, then you know what I'm talking about when John Candy puts down that 96-ounce steak. Now, to put down the seats, it's actually not that hard. What you're gonna do is you're just gonna pull down on the straps. So you could actually have just the seats down depending on what type of things you have back here. I know some people don't even have families. They were just given up and left on the side of the road in the woods. What they do is they go get a minivan because they have a band. That's their family. And they could put all their band instruments in here. Drums, guitars, the amps, all that. So it really depends on what you need to use the van for. It may not just be about people. It may be about your music and your future music career. Now to get the seats down, real simple. You're just gonna pull and they go nicely nestled into their home. That's now gonna give you right around 75 cubic feet of space. Now the challenge with the Sienna compared to the competition is you can't fold down those mid-row seats. And the reason why is because of all that adjustability with the ottoman and the recline and the slide and everything else. So still getting 75 cubic feet of space. Just want to show off in the third row, there's your USB-Cs. You have your audio controls for the headsets, for the entertainment center that I showed you. And then we also have a smartly placed 12 volt, not 12 volt, excuse me, 120 volt home power right there in the back. But you know what? I want to find out how we could haul the on throttle experience in this. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go for a little Texas spin, a little Texas twosome in this Sienna. All right, guys, we are in this 2025 Toyota Sienna Platinum trim. Right away, having that 12.3 inch infotainment system is a heaven send. It's really a good size. The reach to it is not very far. And of course you have all of the familiar operations of Toyota's multimedia software system. Dash, same story. The large 12.3 inch digital gauge cluster. We could go into our different modes, sport being one of them. And you have that great head-up display as well. Now, a new piece of technology that is all new for 2025 is gonna be that child warning system. So the vehicle uses this sonar technology that actually will know if a child is left in the rear passenger seats and will send the parent a text to let them know, hey, you forgot something. So nice to have technology for that, for people who really, really need that. But why don't we go ahead? I'm gonna come to a complete stop here. We're in sport mode and we're gonna go on throttle. You ready? On throttle. So the all-wheel drive system, I don't know if you heard, there was a little chirp from the front end, but then the electric motor kicked in out back to give us our all-wheel drive. And that's how the system works. Not as effective as having an actual drive shaft connect the engine to the rear wheels, but at least you do have that all-wheel drive system, whereas, like I said, the Honda Odyssey does not have one. Visibility out the front is fantastic. You do have, obviously, even if you shut off the digital rear view mirror, you have a clear view out the back, but the digital rear view mirror, especially with, you know, the kids' heads in their seats, you'll be able to see very clearly behind you. And then I love just how they have all the storage areas in here, especially with this bridge center console area and the new materials, which they definitely up the ante with the materials. But just really nice to finally have some new technology in here. Of course, you're gonna have all of the great Toyota Sensing 2.0 safety system software in here. And the ride quality is really nicely set up. You know, one of the advantages of it being a hybrid is that you actually lower your center of gravity because of the battery pack. And what's interesting is that the battery pack is the older technology. It's actually nickel metal hydride, which may turn some people off that it's the older technology, but it is more reliable than lithium ion battery packs. Even though lithium ion battery packs have come a long way, the nickel metal hydride are still more reliable. But just very easy to drive. The dimensions of it doesn't feel like you're in a big, huge bus. And I think what you're gonna see at the end of the day is that when it comes to actually hauling the people and things in your life, is that this is really the better way to go. Sound deadening material is pretty good. I wish that it was a little bit quieter in here. But the way that the hybrid system works is really on point. And like I said, Toyota's been doing hybrid systems for a very, very long time. But just very predictable steering. You feel planted. The seats are comfortable. It really shows what is an option when it comes to going the minivan route. But I hope that this has been a good overall review of what the 2025 Toyota Sienna is bringing for the money. We're gonna get back to where it all started and wrap this one up. So I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been a rootin' tootin' cowboy kind of day here because we're in the great state of Texas with this 2025 Toyota Sienna Platinum trim. Want to thank Paul and the rest of the Toyota USA team for getting us access to this vehicle while we were here in Texas. Let me know what you think. Does the Sienna, been around since 1998, does it do it better than all the other minivans in the market? Let me know in the comment section, especially for the money. But if you're new to the channel, you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile. Come back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Raised Rides family. Got to give it up to LGR. Lori Gibbons Raiti, working that camera like the champion she is. Show us some love in the comment section. Thank you, Lori, for all that you do. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.